Today we're talking about what I exactly look at when I review one of my clients' funnel and do a full audit. First of all, my name is Gwen. I build funnel with and for my clients, and my clients are making multi-five figures a month just from their funnel. So between 10 and 20K a month from their funnel only, on top of all the launches that they are doing and selling with their content. So here is today, like how we are going to look at this. I'm going to first share a little bit about the method and what people think about looking at in a funnel that actually doesn't have at all, and exactly what are the elements that I look at. And you will want to have a notebook or your phone to take some notes, because this is the exact same that you will need to look at in your own funnel. To give you an example of the last audit that I have made, we have changed the projected revenue from my client. We went from 190K in projected revenue with her funnel from 330K to 190K actually. And this is because we changed the structure of the funnel, and we changed also where she has some monetization, so some extra layers of having some extra income coming into the funnel. We completely changed her email sequences, all of this coming after the audit, because the audit was able to identify where is the leak. Okay. She had the exact same offer at the beginning, and we're selling her core signature offer at the end, which is a mastermind for her. She has the exact same audience, the same number of traffic, and is coming from 30K into 190K from the same funnel. So this episode is exactly about how I found all of this and how you can find it in your own funnel. So there's a bit of a myth on what we need to look at. And that's because our first instinct when we have a funnel and the funnel is not converting is to go through the pages, to think about our offer, to think about the positioning. Oh, I saw this person on social media saying that I need to change my positioning to talk to premium buyers, or my messaging, or my X, Y, and Z. And so we start changing a lot of things at once, and then we wait and see, is that making the funnel get better or not, which is not at all the way we want to go with it. So what we want to do is actually to be more systematic, more organized with our way of updating our funnel. And one of the main things that I see is that when I go through a funnel, and I will share with you exactly all of my steps, I don't actually look at the overview first. So I will first look at every single detail, and will tell you all the details. And then I go and look at the overview. What is also important is to understand your customer journey. And a lot of the work that I've done with my clients in the last 12 months has shown that a lot of them have created a funnel when they actually did not really know what was their customer journey. So I would really invite you to think about your customer journey and exactly what is their already present experience of buying from you. So instead of curating an experience that never happens in the backend to make sales when you're not showing up, with your sales funnel, what we want to do is to replicate something that is already working. So for some of my clients, that means to really mimic their live energy inside their funnel. And for some of my clients, that means reevaluating really how they are selling, because they started to create an experience in the back end that if they were doing this in the front end, launching with their content, people would not buy like this. So what we want is simply to build an experience that can take place when you are not present. So when we're looking at the funnel, the problem is not your skill, okay? The problem is not that you can't create a funnel. Like if you already have one, you already have one. Sometimes it's that you're so close to it, like you know everything that you wrote in the emails, on the sales page and so on, that you can't identify that really for yourself. So let's look at it now, and let's look at each section of the funnel that I'm looking at. So the first section I look at is traffic, okay? For traffic, I want to look at the volume and the temperature. So what does that mean? In terms of volume, that means that ideally to have data, we need to be able to speak in percentage, right? And so that means that I need to have at least 100 people going through your funnel to see what is a percentage. Okay. So if we have 100 people who came in your funnel and either downloaded your freebie, watch your free masterclass or your paid masterclass or your mini course, whatever is the entry of the funnel, then we can start seeing exactly what are the results. The idea would be that for my clients, what they get is between 15 and 30% conversion rate. So if you have 100 people in, we want that 15 to 30 people have upgraded to the offer. This is how we're going to look at it. So looking at the data. Now, this is for volume, but when we think about the temperature of your audience, I want to see what is the temperature. So the temperature of your audience can, of course, be cold if you're using IG trial reels, or if you are being discovered on social media, like any traffic. So even on TikTok, some of my clients have mainly cold audience, which are just like new people discovering them, or ads, obviously. Some of my clients also have warm traffic. And so that's why, honestly, all of the funnels that we build are for both hot and cold audience. And that's why we use what I call hot and cold messaging in it. So it works for both of them. But this is going to change the benchmark. So if you're telling me that you're only doing this funnel for cold traffic or for hot traffic, I may change the percentage of what I'm seeing. Let's say a sales page or a landing page that is converting at 15% or 10% may be good if it was for cold, but might not be good if it was for warm. So first thing that we look at is the traffic. Then the second thing we're going to look at is our entry offer and the landing page or the sales page. Or the two best funnel that work very well is either coming from a freebie, a lead magnet, that's something that is free, or coming from people purchasing $11 to $37 offer. Those are great. Okay, those are great. And from this, we want to see already how many people have visited this page. And from this page, how many people are actually buying it. And depending on the percentage, and I have very specific benchmark that I use with my clients, then we see, is this good to go or do we need to change it? Now, the third thing that we're going to look at is your offer architecture. So meaning like all of the offers that you put in your funnel. In your funnel, you want to stack offers, right? So you have maybe a bump offer or tripwire. You have some upsells on screen. So this is when they take your freebie and you say, wait, like the free resource is on its way to your inbox. But in the meantime, like everyone wants this. So also buy this, like, this kind of pages. So tripwires is for free. And then upsells is when it was for a paid offer. But not going too much in the details. But the idea here is to really look at those offers and also how many people are taking those offers. If you have an upsell or tripwire and you have 1%, 5% of the people taking it, you know that you have a big gap here and you could definitely make more money with your funnel, which is also very important here to do this part of monetization early on in your funnel before people even go into your email sequence, because some people will never make it to your email sequence. And this is also one of the things that we did with my client who then came from the 30K to the 190K funnel. And then element number 4 is going to be looking at your email sequence. And so when we look at your email sequence, we're going to look at the open rates, the click rates, which specific email are generating sales. And so depending on your email service provider, you can see this. Like in mine, I have an all-in-one platform. So I can see which email is the email where people buy. Does that mean that the other emails are bad? No, because people may have made a decision a few emails before. So by the way, it's not because an email is not directly converting that we're going to remove it. Okay. We have a few parameters that we have to look at. So the question I always ask first my client, to be honest, is, did you actually write this? Because depending on when I'm reading it, I can read, sometimes it reads very well and sometimes it reads like ChatGPT took over, and which is not the best thing that you can have when you're going to want to have thousands of people going through this every single month. You may want to build a reputation where you're actually writing the things for your people, depending on what you are selling, except if maybe you are selling AI platform, and then of course like use AI to write your things. But also like what I look at with this is that I look at is your email sequence actually speaking to all the buyer type? Are you losing some people on the way? And I'm saying this because 90% to 100% of my clients come to me and speak to 1 to 2 buyer types on 4 to 5 buyer types. So that's really important to look at. And then the last actually thing that we look at is the logic of the entire system. And so what happens when someone buys. So now we have already looked at the traffic, we looked at all of the pages conversion, so how many people visit each page and how many people bought the thing. So all of the sales pages, all of the upsells and so on. We look at the email sequence, and we then start to look at the entire experience when someone did buy. So what happens also when someone buy or when someone doesn't buy at the end? Do you have a fallback offer, what is also called a downsell, but prefer fallback offer? So what is happening exactly after that? In the logic, we also want to see, are we going to send the same emails to everyone? Or if someone is interested in the offer, are we going to send them in a different email sequence? So this is also really, really important to pay attention to this. Now, what I do is that I log in all of those numbers into an Excel sheet and that I have built like for my clients. So it calculates actually like where are the green areas, the yellow areas, and the red areas that needs to be fixed. And that helps you to really see actually like, what do I need to do now instead of fixing everything. And I want that for a second, we also zoom out a little bit of just the funnel and looking at your entire ecosystem of offers, because when you look at building an elite business, so an elite business is a 7-figure business that is high quality, high standards, and where you are leading hundreds, thousands of people, and it is maintaining high standard. That's an elite business. And so when we are building an elite business, we do have a high converting funnel, which is a 6-figure funnel. It's going to bring you 6-figure during the year by you doing nothing else than sending people towards this funnel. So it can do all of the know, like, trust or the nurturing for those people without you being present and all the time being on social media, or you can sell something else on social media and your funnel can sell something else. So we really want to have a clear strategy on zooming at and looking at your entire business and just looking at your funnel being just one piece of the thing, okay, of the entire machine. And your machine is your front end. Okay, so your content, social media content, podcast episode, a YouTube video, anything that you do, a live launch, nourishing your backend. So how does it nourish your backend? A live launch offer. So maybe tomorrow I launch a $97 workshop on creating email sequences. Then I'm going to plug this in my backend. Where am I going to sell it? As an upsell somewhere? We reuse everything, or all of my best content from social media. How can I put this in my funnel? Because that works very well in the front end. So it's not that we build a disconnected business. We build a business that is very connected and nourishing for our clients and for ourselves. So this is so important. And that's why the 3 pillars of an elite business is to have an ecosystem of offers. So your offers feed each other. So even without a funnel, your people will want to buy all of your offers. Then we work on conversion. Okay, and conversion is from the front end and the back end, all connected together through funnels, innovative live launches, and also repeatable methods. So we don't have to invent a new way of selling every single month. And then we work on retaining our clients. I have some of my clients in my high ticket mastermind. I have worked with them for 6 years. I have some of my clients work with them for so many years because I know how to retain clients. And it's not by being cheap. It's not by giving you like a special bonus. It's by really building a culture and a specific experience that your people want to stay in. So this is more of the zooming out for you to also see how to build, yes, your funnel, but that goes into an elite business. If right now you already have a funnel and you want me to audit it for you, you can send me a DM on Instagram with the word audit, and I will share with you exactly my process and how we can do this together. The funnel audit is also included in May if you join Elite Mastermind, which is my 12 months high ticket mastermind where we are mixing high level mastermind and one-to-one consultancy. So we have a lot of one-to-one in it included, in the goal of building an engine, your business, that is not depending on you to be selling. And this is not a 2 months work. So we do this on 12 months. So we can create this client experience where people stay. So we can create offers that people want to buy, like all of them, not just one, because you have a one client ecosystem, and really reviewing a repeatable launch strategy and having your funnels taking over whenever you are on holidays or you want to double your sales for the month. Now, if you have any question, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram and let's have a chat, because my clients right now are killing it. And I'm sure you will want exactly the same. I talk to all of you very soon. DM me Audit if you want to chat about your funnel audit.